After Jimmy Garoppolo came out of the Week 13 game versus the Dolphins, I thought that the Niners season was just about over. I mean, this was the second QB that the 49ers lost to injury this year alone. And we've still got 3 more weeks of football left before the playoffs even start. I know it's been a while, but don't y'all remember who the Niners starter was at the beginning of the year? Yeah, it wasn't Garoppolo. The potential Super Bowl contending 49ers had Trey Lance as their starting QB to kick off the season. And we all know how that turned out. With Garoppolo getting the first start of the year by week 3 with the Niners matched up against Russ and the Broncos. And of course, the only reason Jimmy G got his job back was because Trey Lance went down with a season-ending ankle injury in week 2. And I get that it was a small sample size, but Trey didn't look that good in the 1.5 games that he played in. So, if we're being honest, Garoppolo probably would have snagged his job back halfway through the year. And unlike Trey Lance, when Jimmy G was playing this season, he looked, well, good. And I'm talking more than just the game manager everyone says he is. Dude took this team to a record of 7-3 in the games that he started. And he wasn't playing against any bums. Alright, hold up. Let me chill on that take. Because looking back at that 10-game stretch, the best team San Fran took down was probably the Chargers, who are struggling to stay alive in the playoff chase. And, I mean, the Niners did go 4-0 in divisional games with Jimmy. But besides the Niners, everyone in the NFC West kinda sucks this year. For starters, we got the reigning champs who've caught the injury bug big time this season, which hasn't helped their chances at repeating. I mean, it's gotten so bad in LA that they went out and signed Baker Mayfield off of waivers after the Panthers released the dude halfway through the year. And you know, Baker did very good in his first game in a Rams uni. I mean, he went out there and balled the out, making a last-minute comeback like he was Tom Brady or something. And yes, I'm talking about the Baker Mayfield that did this back in college. Truly crazy times that we're living in. As for the Cardinals, I don't know what the hell is going on down there. Because while I know Kyler's been out for most of the year and is going to stay out, this team wasn't really playing good with him in. And it might be in part due to the fact that they did not have their best offensive weapon on the field for the first 6 games. I mean, team's just been a mess all year. And hell, if it wasn't for Russ and the Broncos, we'd probably be talking about what a shit show Arizona's been. Now, finally, we got the Seahawks, who up until a couple of weeks ago looked like they were a solid lock for the playoffs, maybe even Super Bowl contenders. But as of recently, Geno Smith and the Hawks have gotten to quite a funk, losing, I don't know, like 4 out of the last 5 games, with the only win during that span being against a joke of a Los Angeles Rams team who's been terrible up until, I don't know, Baker Mayfield showed up. But enough about the rest of the division. Let's get to the focal point of the video. That's right, Mr. Irrelevant himself. Some say that Brock Purdy might just be Dr. Disrespect with no wig and glasses on. And honestly, I could believe it. I mean, ever since Purdy got behind center for the Niners a few weeks ago, this offense has been nothing but explosive. With the team averaging 29 plus points per game in the matches Brock Purdy has played in, which has been 3, so that'll probably change later down the line. And honestly, I know that Purdy was put onto a team with offensive weapons like CMC, Debo, and George Kittle to name a few. But dude has found a way to be more than just a game manager, and God, do I hate that term. It's so stupid. I mean, the QB rush for a touchdown versus the Buccaneers is a perfect example of his athleticism, which is something that Jimmy G just didn't possess when he was starting for the 49ers. Clearly less mobile. And if Purdy becomes the guy for San Francisco, then it wouldn't be the first time that a late draft pick replaces a QB which traded a king's ransom to draft. Because just like the Niners traded multiple first round picks to get Trey Lance, the now Washington Commanders traded tons of picks to move up and draft RG3. And just like Trey Lance, RG3 eventually got a season-ending injury really early on into his career, giving way to a much later draft pick being given an opportunity to get some starting time. And that draft pick, Kirk Cousins. Yes, the guy who just led his team to the biggest comeback in NFL history and wears chains on airplanes like a badass. And if anyone knows what it's like to lose their job to injury, then it would have to be Drew Bledsoe himself. Who, you might be asking? Well, he was the QB for the Patriots right before you-know-who came along and changed the course of NFL history. That's right. The most successful 6th-round pick in NFL got his shot at the big leagues because the guy in front of him got hurt. And when you go back and look at a young Tom Brady on a stacked 2001 Patriots roster, you begin to start seeing a lot of resemblance with Brock Purdy and the 2022 San Francisco 49ers. We might just be lucky enough to be living through some fantastic NFL moments and don't even know it. Now, what will it take for Purdy to guarantee the jobs going into the 2023 season, you might be asking? Well, I think that Purdy has to not only win the division, but also 2 playoff games to secure the job heading into next year. And not only does he have to win those games, but he's got to show Shanahan and the front office that he's more than just a decent QB in an amazing system. And if all of that happens, then and only then do I think that we will have the next Tom Brady on our hands. And if you think winning 2 playoff games is a bit too much to ask to guarantee the starting job for Brock, then let's not forget what Brady had to do in his first season playing to cement his legacy. The GOAT went ahead and said, screw it, let me win a Super Bowl. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Let me know yours in the comments below. See y'all next time. Deuces.